The year AD 4 might seem like just another year lost to the sands of time, but it was a year of profound significance. It was a time when the world was in a state of flux, and the decisions made during this period would echo through the centuries. The Roman Empire, a colossal force that had risen from the ashes of the Republic, was at a pivotal juncture. The events of AD 4 were not just isolated incidents, but were part of a larger narrative that shaped the destiny of one of history's greatest empires. It was a year when the Roman Empire, under the rule of Caesar Augustus, stood at a crossroads. Augustus, the first emperor of Rome, had brought a semblance of stability after years of civil war, but the empire was still fragile. The political landscape was fraught with tension, and the future of Rome was uncertain. Augustus's policies and decisions during this year would have far-reaching consequences, influencing the empire's trajectory for generations to come. The young empire, forged in the fires of civil war, was still finding its footing. The scars of conflict were fresh, and the memories of battles fought and lives lost were still vivid in the minds of the people. The Roman legions, the backbone of the empire, were stationed across vast territories from the wind-swept plains of Britannia to the deserts of Africa. These soldiers were not just warriors, but also builders, engineers, and administrators, playing a crucial role in maintaining the empire's stability. From the icy banks of the Rhine to the sun-baked plains of Judea, the world in AD 4 was a tapestry woven with threads of ambition, intrigue, and the constant struggle for power. The Roman Empire was a melting pot of cultures, languages, and traditions, each contributing to the rich mosaic of Roman society. The provinces were governed by Roman officials, but local customs and practices were often preserved, creating a unique blend of Roman and indigenous cultures. Understanding this pivotal year allows us to glimpse a world on the brink of great change. The social fabric of Rome was complex, with a rigid hierarchy that defined the roles and responsibilities of its citizens. From the patricians, the elite class, to the plebeians, the common people, and the slaves who formed the backbone of the economy, each group had its place in the grand scheme of things. The daily life of a Roman citizen was a blend of duty, religion, and leisure, with public baths, theatres, and forums serving as the centres of social life. AD 4 offers a unique window into the past, revealing the lives of emperors and slaves, soldiers and citizens, all caught in the currents of history. The emperor, a figure of immense power and authority, was both revered and feared. The slaves, on the other hand, lived lives of hardship and toil. Yet, they were an integral part of the Roman economy and society. The soldiers, ever vigilant, were the guardians of the empire, ready to defend its borders against any threat. Join us as we journey back to AD 4, exploring the events that shaped the course of the Roman Empire and the world. We will delve into the political machinations, the military campaigns, and the daily lives of the people who lived during this fascinating period. Through their stories, we will gain a deeper understanding of the forces that shaped the ancient world and the legacy that continues to influence our modern society. The year AD 4 was more than just a moment in time. It was a turning point that set the stage for the future of Rome and the world. As winter tightened its grip on Rome, the city transformed into a landscape of white. Snow blanketed the ancient streets, muffling the usual hustle and bustle. The cold air was sharp, and the Tiber River flowed sluggishly under a thin layer of ice. Yet despite the harsh weather, the city's social and political life continued unabated. The marketplace buzzed with activity as merchants and citizens braved the cold to trade goods and news. In the Senate, heated debates and discussions carried on, the chill outside doing little to cool the fervour within. Social gatherings, though fewer, were still held in the grand villas, where the warmth of fires and the company of friends provided respite from the winter's chill. Within the marble halls of power, whispers of ambition and intrigue swirled around the figure of Caesar Augustus. His presence was a constant reminder of the delicate balance of power. Augustus, a master of political maneuvering, had to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics, where allies could turn into adversaries in the blink of an eye. Augustus, having secured his position as the first emperor of Rome, was now faced with the daunting task of ruling a vast and diverse empire. From the sun-drenched coast of Hispania to the windswept plains of Britannia, the Roman Empire stretched far and wide. Each province had its own unique challenges and required careful governance to maintain stability and order. In the northern provinces of Germania, Roman legions remained on high alert, stationed along the Rhine River. The soldiers, clad in their heavy winter cloaks, patrolled the icy banks, ever watchful for signs of trouble. The Rhine, a natural barrier, was both a lifeline and a frontier, marking the edge of Roman control. The recent rebellion of the Germanic tribes under Arminius served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat from beyond the empire's borders. The Battle of Teutoburg Forest, where 3 Roman legions were ambushed and decimated, was a wound that still festered in the Roman psyche. It was a brutal lesson in the dangers of underestimating the enemy. The legions, hardened by years of campaigning, endured the harsh winter, their watchful eyes fixed on the frozen river, a symbol of the volatile frontier. The soldiers' breath hung in the air as they stood guard, their minds filled with thoughts of home and the promise of warmer days. Yet they remained vigilant, knowing that the peace of Rome depended on their unwavering resolve. Spring brought with it news of Roman victories in Germania. General Tiberius, Augustus's stepson and trusted commander, led successful campaigns against the Germanic tribes, pushing further eastward and consolidating Roman control over the region. These victories were celebrated in Rome with much fanfare, reinforcing Augustus's image as a strong and decisive leader. However, while Rome celebrated its triumphs in the north, unrest simmered in the east. The province of Judea, recently annexed into the Roman Empire, remained a hotbed of tension. The Jewish population, resentful of Roman rule and taxation, grew increasingly restless. Religious leaders, sensing the growing discontent, began to preach of a coming Messiah, a savior who would liberate them from Roman oppression. Section 4, July to September. The weight of empire and the Parthian question. The summer months brought with them the sweltering heat, a stark contrast to the icy grip of winter. Augustus, feeling the weight of empire on his aging shoulders, retreated to his seaside villa. From this secluded sanctuary, he continued to receive reports from his governors and generals, carefully considering the challenges facing his realm. Of particular concern was the ever-present Parthian Empire, Rome's powerful rival to the east. The Parthians, skilled horsemen and fierce warriors, posed a constant threat to Rome's eastern provinces. The relationship between the two empires remained tense, a delicate dance of diplomacy and military posturing. Section 5, October to December. A time of uncertainty and the shadow of succession. As the year drew to a close, a sense of uncertainty hung in the air. The streets of Rome, usually bustling with activity, seemed to carry an undercurrent of anxiety. Citizens whispered among themselves, their faces etched with worry. The once vibrant cityscape was now shrouded in a fog of apprehension, as if the very air was thick with the weight of the unknown. Augustus, now in his 60s, was showing signs of his advancing age. His once robust frame had begun to wither, and the lines on his face told stories of battles fought and empires built. He spent more time reclining on his chaise lounge, attended by servants who catered to his every need. The vigor that had once defined his rule was fading, replaced by a frailty that could not be ignored. The question of who would succeed him, a question that had plagued his reign, became ever more pressing. Roman nobles gathered in hushed discussions, their faces betraying the gravity of the situation. Augustus himself was often seen deep in thought, his concern evident to those around him. The future of Rome hung in the balance, and the uncertainty was palpable. Potential heirs jockeyed for position, their ambitions whispered in the corridors of the palace. The shadows of the palace walls seemed to echo with the murmurings of those who sought power. Each potential successor had their own vision for Rome, and the stakes were incredibly high. Alliances were formed and broken in the blink of an eye as the game of succession played out in the shadows. Adding to the uncertainty was a series of ill omens and natural disasters. Dark storm clouds gathered over the Roman landscape, casting an ominous shadow over the empire. Statues that once stood as symbols of strength and stability now seemed to loom with a foreboding presence. The natural world itself appeared to be in turmoil, reflecting the chaos within the empire. Floods devastated parts of the Italian peninsula, destroying crops and displacing communities. The fertile lands that had once provided sustenance for the empire were now submerged underwater. Villagers were forced to flee their homes, their lives turned upside down by the relentless force of nature. The destruction of crops threatened the food supply, adding to the growing sense of crisis. These events, interpreted by some as signs of divine displeasure, fueled rumors and anxieties among the populace. In the marketplaces, citizens exchanged fearful glances and whispered speculations. Roman priests were called upon to interpret the omens, their pronouncements only adding to the sense of dread. The belief that the gods were angry cast a long shadow over the hearts and minds of the people. The year AD 4 ended not with a bang, but with a whimper, a sense of anticipation for what the future held. The streets of Rome, once filled with the sounds of daily life, now lay eerily quiet at dusk. Citizens peered out from their homes, their eyes searching the horizon for any sign of what was to come. The empire stood on the brink of a new era, its fate uncertain, its people holding their breath as they awaited the dawn of a new year.